Hey guys, it's Matt here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of Matt Rants. So, Matt Rants was supposed to be coming out like twice per day, but then all of a sudden, I'm sure you guys noticed yesterday, kind of slowed down to a crawl, no releases. Basically, what ended up happening was I went to the Nintendo World's E3 event at Nintendo World, because I live in New York City, so I thought, let's do it in New York in general. So I was like, let me go to New York City, let's do this. And I captured a lot of footage, and I'm going to be releasing that hopefully this weekend. Actually, no, yeah, latest this weekend. But what ended up happening was, so I met some fellow YouTubers there, which is awesome. I'll post their links in the description box below. But basically what ended up happening was I saw the Nintendo Direct live, which was great, but I ended up pushing myself a little bit farther than I should have. I got to play the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate demo, which is amazing, so that footage will also be up on the channel, hopefully either by this weekend or earliest Friday. And so basically what ended up happening though is I stayed up for way too long, and I say way too long as in I think a little bit over 24 hours, something that I never suggest that you guys do. And you know, it really took a toll on me, so I've been recovering today. Didn't get to go on day 3. I'm gonna get some more footage on day 4 and try to add that into the day 2 footage so I can just have a giant Smash video for you guys, or general, you know, Nintendo E3 video for you guys. But right now I'll talk about the actual Nintendo Direct itself. Now, the Microsoft Direct should also be, like, my rants on it should also be coming out later on today as well. And then again, I'll be trying to like double up every single day till I'm done with the talking about the press conferences. So I saw the Microsoft one first. I wanted to get that one out of the way, but then all of a sudden I'm at the Nintendo E3 conference and some things got delayed there. So all of a sudden, you know, I thought I'd be home by like 2-3 o'clock. Little do I know, I'm home by like 7:30, and I just end up knocking out. So anyway, let's look at this press conference. So let's talk about it, and let's talk about, you know, some of the failings and frankly some of the stuff that I think they did very well. Now, I will be taking the fact that I was there into account. I know that might sound like a little bit of bias, but the reason why I'm doing it is because I do want you guys to know that I saw fans being happy. Now, comparing this to the EA E3 press conference, I told you guys during the EA rant I was going to keep on doing that, and apparently I have been. So during that press conference, you just saw that anyone who was there was they were just down in the dumps. But here, however, and again, you can say it's, you know, it's flawed, a flawed, what's really flawed, stats and things like that, or a flawed, test run, if you will, hypothesis, perhaps, because of the fact that we have all of these fans there who did want to go and see Smash, but they didn't just cheer for Smash, they cheered for some other stuff as well. Again, you'll see my footage of that a little bit later on throughout the week. And so I do feel as if, even though, yes, you know, they were there to cheer, arguably, they still could have booed some stuff. They actually booed some games, and I'll talk about that a little bit later on in my rant. Okay, so let's talk about... so I had to rewatch the Direct again. That's not the reason why this is coming out a little bit later. Had to rewatch the whole thing again. Didn't rewatch the Treehouse stuff. I was a little upset about that, but I'll talk about that later. So I had to rewatch the Direct, because of the fact that when we were there was some really bad audio issues. I don't dislike Nintendo World. I'm not going to put down their staff. I do know some people that are on staff, so again, I'm not trying to put them down. I just do feel as if that Nintendo did not give them enough time to prep. Nintendo did not think, oh, you know, Nintendo World, they might need subtitles for their video. They might need, not that they were going to rent out a bigger space, but still, for some odd reason, I feel like Nintendo didn't think that people might want to go to a Smash E3 reveal. Like, why would you not want to go to that? I mean, you know, there were people there that were, I talked to people there. I didn't get them on camera, sadly, but I'm going to get some interviews, just general people on the street, what they want to see. But I'm going to get that hopefully tomorrow. But the thing is, the thing that, you know, kind of gets me a little confused is because, like, people were coming in from Connecticut, South Carolina, DC, and it's not confusing that they would come here because, again, it's a free event, and some of them needed to come here for other reasons, so they just kind of fit this into their schedule. So it's not weird that they wanted to come here. It's just weird that Nintendo just didn't think, like E3 is very expensive. for me to fly out, and I know I'm a New York native, but still, for me to fly out to LA or to, California in general, that's really expensive. It's cheaper for a lot of people to just probably come to New York, hang out for 2-3 days, and then just end up going to this free event, because it was a free event at Nintendo World. So I didn't have to pay a dime to go there and film. So it was amazing to be able to go there, to document the event, and to end up showing it to you guys in the future. But talking about the Direct itself, yeah, so we had audio issues. Apparently upstairs, I was downstairs. Upstairs had no audio whatsoever. We heard audio twice. So it was kind of funny because anytime there was a big reveal that was a visual cue, not so much an audio one, the second it would hit upstairs, we would hear people cheering, and I would think, oh, they can cheer all they want to, but, we could have a different opinion. We are not trained monkeys. And the second they hit us with "everyone is here," Ridley, some other ones, apparently we are trained monkeys, and we will raw immediately after they raw, at least with the 2-second delay. Okay, so the way they opened up the Direct itself, though, actually talking about the content here, and I'll be very quick with some of the other stuff that either I've talked about in other rants, or some of the stuff that they were, talking about for like 2.5 seconds. I'm sorry, 0.2 seconds. So I don't want to go too into those because we'll be here literally all night. Like this rant will be 3 hours long instead of hopefully an hour. Okay, so, Daemon Ex Machina 2019. This game looks very interesting. I love mechs. I love giant mecha. I feel a little odd watching certain stuff, I guess, like Super Sentai and other shows that end up devolving into, because I love superheroes a little bit more than I do mecha, so when it jumped to mecha to superhero to mecha, or mecha to superhero, I'm kind of a little iffy watching that, and I love Super Sentai, but still, or Power Rangers, if you will, if you want to go with the, US version. But when it comes to playing games with mech in them, sign me up. This looks like a great game. Odd game to open up with, though. Not too sure why they opened up with this game in particular. However, they did follow it up with something that, while I'm not a big fan of this game's fighting mechanics, at the same time, I love the visuals, and frankly, I gotta be honest, the trailer did make me want to play the first one, and this was Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Torna the Golden Country. Also want to mention that Daemon Ex Machina says that it's coming out in 2019. Super vague, but okay. And in this case, Xenoblade Chronicles 2 is actually coming out September 2018. So that's actually pretty cool. So for any of you Xenoblade fans out there, you can get your fix then and there. Personally, again, I'm not a big fan of the way the fighting mechanics work, but at the same time, the visuals and the story itself really did draw me in, and I think the trailer did a great job of getting me wanting to know more about this universe. But moving on, sometimes I leave little jokes for myself in the notes and then I forget. So I listed Reggie's first appearance. By the way, we turned Reggie into a freaking mythological beast. Every time something was going on, we just started randomly cheering and wooing, and people just scream, "Reggie! Reggie!" And people, at some points, people had to stop being, they had to wisen up and I'm not gonna be fooled, it's not Reggie, it's not really Reggie. Which is kind of funny because we just kept on doing it to the point where, I don't know, it was just hilarious. And at one point, we just started pointing in just random places, oh snap, Reggie's up there. Hey look, Reggie's in that tree, Reggie! At one point, I pointed up to a very, very tall building, because remember, we're in New York City. And I was like, oh snap, Reggie's up there, and he's mouthing something. Something about, Ridley not being too big. And so it was so much fun, meeting new people there, meeting fellow Nintendo fans. Yeah, and I think what's interesting is even when people were critiquing stuff about Smash and other things afterwards regarding the Direct, none of it felt like it was just complete and utter, trashing, oh, the Switch is trash, oh, this is trash, oh, Smash is trash now. It was, oh god, hashtag Smash is trash, because of no Waluigi. Hashtag free the Wah. So anyway, there was, or unleash the Wah. Hashtag unleash the Wah. But seriously, Reggie was interesting. I think in some cases he didn't really help sell the game, but it wasn't, definitely his first appearance didn't do that. I'll say that much. His first appearance where he discussed, first off, his joke about to a smashing invitational. It wasn't really a joke, but still, how dare you, Reggie? But I will say though, him bringing up the fact that Mew comes with every single Pokeball Plus it will definitely reel in those stragglers, those that are not really convinced, not just about the game itself, but are not convinced about getting that, that extra, I think peripheral is the right word, that extra oddity, if you will. But I have to say, though, I like the Pokeball Plus situation. I actually enjoyed it. I didn't have a Switch, and I'm thinking maybe for, mostly for Smash at this point, but like maybe for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. But still, that Pokeball Plus thing, the idea, blub, 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 the idea that's going to be kept, by the way, it's not going to be cut. The idea that Mew is going to be given with Pokeball Plus is amazing, because while I would have liked it to be a storyline reason to have Mew in there, something extra, and there still might be, by the way, two Mews, but still, it would have been nice to have a storyline thing. But heck, Mew wasn't officially obtainable in the original Pokemon games, Red, Blue, and Yellow, so screw it, just give it to us via a Pokeball Plus. Why not? I will say, though, while they did show a bit more Pokemon Let's Go footage, a little tiny bit, like milliseconds more, I still feel as if it would have been better to have a dedicated Pokemon Let's Go segment in this direct. I think it would have been great right before Pokemon, right before Smash Ultimate. I think just a little sliver, nothing crazy, right? Not like another 20 minutes of it, but even just another 5 minutes dedicated to it. I think it really would have helped make this direct more meteor, just meteor in general. I don't think this direct was the worst. It definitely was better than EA's, but there still were definitely some problems with it. As I'm already telling you right now, there definitely were some problems. Now, one big highlight, though, I have to say, is announcing Super Mario Party. Mentioning, by the way, I would like to mention Super Mario Party is coming out October 5th, 2018. So that's amazing right there. And I would like to mention, I totally get why people are focusing on Smash, Waluigi, etc., etc. Believe me, I get it, right? But I do think that Super Mario Party should have stolen the show. Like, I'm kind of shocked that, it feels like the internet just did not talk about Super Mario Party. Maybe it's just me, maybe it's just people that I follow. But I'm sitting back and I'm like, even rewatching it, thinking all of the things that they showed off with Super Mario Party, why are we not discussing the fact that you can attach two Switches to each other and play mini games that way? Like, why are we not discussing the fact that we can play as a Goomba? Right? That's hilarious to me. And also, just the fact that people have been talking about this for a while. We already knew that Smash was coming. Of course, by the way, the reveals, duh, right? Ridley, duh. I'm not saying you can't break the internet, right, with that. But at the same, or smash the internet, hashtag smash the internet. I'm just saying, though, that it, to me anyway, is kind of odd that we're not talking about Super Mario Party, because that's coming out in October. Like, that's, to some people, they might think, oh, that's not soon. That is soon, though. Like, compared to December for Smash, that's soon. And that's a really fun party game that you can kind of get everyone together to just have some fun. And I mean, I'm not a big fan of Mario Party, not because I dislike it, but for two reasons. One, I just have never really had the chance to play the games. Didn't get it for the N64 as a kid. Did I not have friends as a kid? Tears. But I didn't really get it as a kid. And I've never really had it since. And also, I do have friends now, and I want to keep them. So I just feel like I never play that, never play Monopoly. You will lose friends. They will hate you. I blame capitalism. Now, as I'm on YouTube. And so but seriously, I do think we should be talking about Super Mario Party more. I think it kind of just slid under the radar. And maybe, to be fair, Nintendo was worried that with this big Super Smash Bros. Revealing everything about the game, although pre-DLC, because I believe there will be DLC. I believe Waluigi will be in via DLC. More on that later, but that's just my take on it. But still, when it comes to the character reveals, I understand that maybe they thought, oh, it might overshadow Pokemon or something else that we try to introduce. But at the same time, I don't know, man. I don't know, guys. Like, I just feel as if we should be talking about this just a little bit. Just a little bit. Also, can we play as Waluigi in Super Mario Party? Because if so, moving on to another game that was really interesting, Fire Emblem Three Houses. So I've never played a Fire Emblem game in my life. Please comment below and tell me why I'm a loser. Why/how? I never really owned I have the GameCube now because, my dad had it for years and it kind of just stayed over there. My brothers would play it every once in a while, but not enough that I didn't want to steal the GameCube from them. Also, I have a Wii as well that I could definitely play the GameCube games on as well, but of course they've gone up in price, and unless they've gone down and I didn't know, potentially maybe due to a virtual store release, a virtual console release that I don't know about, the games are rather expensive. Also, I know they didn't release the earlier Fire Emblem games here, and I've heard that the canon, it's fine, don't worry about it. And if so, if you guys tell me in the comments below, no, seriously, don't worry about it. Just play the GameCube version, just play a Wii version or something like that. That's cool too. Or maybe even if the story is completely different in the 3DS version, if you guys tell me to pick that up, might pick that up, might play that on the channel and also my leisure. But no, for me personally, I never really ended up getting into Fire Emblem. And looking at this trailer for it, I'm usually not a fan of games with this battle system, but you know what? At the same time, they're not as bad as, and I say bad, quote unquote, as my opinion is, the open air kind of running around, but also trying to not running around. It's a weird situation. I'm not big fans of those type of games, although it's funny because I love Kingdom Hearts, but Kingdom Hearts is a little bit different than some games like Xenoblade Chronicles or stuff like that. But looking at Fire Emblem Three Houses, though, I have to say the jump between the third person view and kind of just jumping into a first person cinematic, beautifully done, very smooth. What was not smooth, though, that kind of confused me a little bit, at least personally, kind of confused me a little bit, when they ended up, let me see here, because I wanted to make sure I was right, and I'm kind of looking at the trailer a little bit now as we're talking about it on mute. Yeah, there was some really odd frame rate issues, and I don't know if that was due to the streaming, because there were some odd streaming issues. Even when I watched it on YouTube, it wasn't a Nintendo World thing. So I wonder if that was just a streaming issue. I wonder if it's because it's super duper beta, because it's coming out in spring 2019, so it's not like it's coming out tomorrow. So obviously I'm sure there's some kinks they need to work out, but I was a little bit confused as to, the frame rate was not the best. And I'm not a person who kind of, is a stickler for frame rate. It's just that the anime looked, the quality of the animation looked straight up like it was out of a 1080p anime, newer anime, beautiful, loved it. I wanted to know more, especially being able to know what the hell they were saying audio-wise, because when I can watch it at home, everyone is shutting up. I'm pointing my finger at you. Everyone in that room other than me and the 5 people I knew met that day. All of you were loud. But anyway, so I am interested in this game. I don't know if I would purchase it, but at the same time, because I feel like I would be lost if I just jumped in right now. And also I don't have a Switch, but that's a different point entirely. But I do have to say, though, this game does look very interesting, and I think Nintendo definitely sold me on the game by the trailer alone. And the cinematics, everyone else there was also very surprised by the jump from one to the other. So overall, I think that is another kind of just, if you want to call it a hidden gem. Oh god, the trailer was released at E3, but compared to Smash, it's a fucking hidden gem. But it basically feels like it was. I don't think it stole the show necessarily, but it definitely kind of worked its way in there, and I feel like some people forgot about it completely. Fortnite is coming out. It's out. So Fortnite has been released yesterday, so you can get Fortnite on your Switch. My response is literally this: whoa, no way, I did not know this was coming. What? Because quite honestly, who didn't know this was happening? Everyone was talking about this days before it happened. There were so many news articles about it. The fact that it's being released right now, okay, sure, that's pretty big. I'll give you that much. And I definitely think that Fortnite will be a Switch seller to those who don't have a Switch. Mobile Fortnite, that's pretty damn cool, to be honest with you. And I think some people are going to be like, but Matt, you can play Fortnite on your phone. But will it look as good as it would on your Switch tablet? I mean, if it does, then okay, fair. But will it? Because I don't know about that. So yeah, either way, I think that's pretty cool. Reggie said, hey, it's going to look exactly like, you can do anything you can do there on, the other versions of it on other consoles. Now, he didn't say that directly, but the way he worded it was, you can use, I think it was full, not full mobility, but I think it was full, user ability. Something, the idea that you can actually do like full battle royale modes. Don't you worry. And if so, all right, like if there isn't crazy slowdown, I mean, this isn't like how WWE 2K18 was quote unquote optimized for the Switch, then hell yeah, like that's actually really cool. Will I play it? Even if I had a Switch? No, I'm not really into Fortnite. I don't know if I ever will be. I probably would play with friends if someone said, hey dude, just take a controller. Like I'm not gonna be like, no, I will never. But I don't think I would actively go out and seek Fortnite. But if you love Fortnite and this is something that you enjoy, happy to hear it. And hey, you can get it on your Switch now, so that's awesome. Overcooked 2. It's coming out August 7th, 2018. And now we're getting into the ones that are like going to be really quick, just kind of like 1-2 sentences, and then we move on. This looks cute, but sorry, not interested. Killer Queen Black, which is coming out literally listed as later this year. This looks a bit more interesting, to me anyway, than Overcooked 2. However, Reggie didn't really sell me on it himself. Sorry, Reggie. You sell a lot of people a lot of things. Didn't sell me on this. However, I might look up the real trailer for the game, and that might sway my opinion. And depending on what other systems or even PC, whatever it's out for, might get it on there earlier. Again, don't have a Switch, so that's another reason why I wouldn't be able to get it now anyway, if it's been released elsewhere. Hollow Knight, out of all these three, I would say this one looks the coolest. I mean, Reggie helped sell me on it, but he didn't even need to. Like, just the visuals itself really drew me in. However, Octopath Traveler, which I won't talk... Oh, by the way, we'd like to mention that Hollow Knight has been released, so you can get Hollow Knight, like, now. When it comes to Octopath Traveler, which is coming out July 13th, 2018... Well, this game looks cool. Again, I mentioned to you guys in another rant for a Nintendo Direct like a while ago. I was sold on the idea, not the name, but the idea of the game, the way the game looks. I'm actually sold on it. It does look interesting, and that's all I'm going to say about it right now, because again, I already gave all my thoughts about it last time. So, moving on to Starlink Battle for Atlas, which is coming out October 16th, 2018. I want this game. I mean, damn, like this game looks really cool, guys. Again, mech and video game, you combine the two, I'm with it. Like, I'm definitely going to get for the PS4 Metal Wolf Chaos when it comes out in the US. You can bet your ass I'm going to get Metal Wolf Chaos. Also for the dub too, but that's a whole different podcast. Arena of Valor, which is coming out this fall. Moving on to another game right now. It looks a bit more like a mobile game. And again, like I've mentioned earlier about some other games, not really interested in games that have this kind of battle system. So I would pass on that. Maybe you won't, and that's cool. Another game that I'll pass on, but again, super happy if you're going to enjoy it. Minecraft, which is coming out June 21st. And hey, again, good for Minecraft fans. I don't care, but I'm happy that you're happy. So, moving on to Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle. Donkey Kong Adventure. That name is so long, I never know when to pause. So for me, it's like Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure, which is coming out June 26th. And frankly, I feel like we didn't really see much of it. Maybe some people who have or know a lot about Mario plus Rabbids are sitting there and like, no, we know enough. We don't really need to see any more. It's just going to be some Donkey Kong, maybe some levels, I guess, and characters, interactability, stuff like that. And again, I guess that's cool. I personally think it looks like it's going to be a lot of fun. But I have to say, though, this is a game that I would only pick up if I could be assured that a bunch of friends of mine have it or want to bring their Switches over and kind of want to play it. Because personally, I don't know if I would go into a game like this just for the single player. If you guys are telling me, no, Matt, you're wrong. Like the single player is great for Mario plus Rabbids. That's cool. Tell me below. But personally, I would go into it from a multiplayer perspective, not from a single player perspective. A lot different, in my opinion, than something like Smash Brothers, where I can go into it with both and be perfectly fine with that. Unless, of course, this new Smash does not have a story mode of any kind, which I have no freaking idea if it does or not. Like, they did not mention that in the Direct, or in the that part of the Direct. And we'll talk about more of that later, but still, that was a little frustrating. PixARK is another game. Fall 2018. Not really interested in the same way that Minecraft doesn't excite me, but I hope you like it. Just Dance 2019, which is coming out October 23rd. And I want to mention that I sucked at this game 9 years ago, and I will suck again. That's a promise. Dragon Ball Fighter Z 2018. So that's when it's coming out. It's not just called Dragon Ball Fighter Z 2018. People are like, is there going to be a 19 and a 20? No, it's coming out in 2018. I've talked about Xenoverse 2 coming to the Switch over on our Those Guys on the Radio YouTube channel, specifically on our Keikaku Corner show. We talked about it as like a news update, and I can't wait to see how this one plays, because adding the Switch and adding Joy-Cons is something, it really does change the experience. So I kind of understand why in this case someone would actually buy the game twice. I actually do, because in this case, in some cases I'm like, I don't know guys, why are you buying the same game twice? You might already have it, especially if some people have their cartridges and stuff like that in their discs. I'm like, you kind of already have the game, and you kind of already have the game set up. Like, why would you get it again? In this case, I completely understand. It should most likely change how the game is played, and that's pretty cool. Moving on to Splatoon 2, the expansion. That's not what it's called, but it is an expansion of the game. It's coming out summer 2018, and I will admit that I played a little bit of Splatoon 2 yesterday. One of the guys that I met essentially gave me his Switch and said, the tablet, and he said two things to me. He said, "Don't drop it," which I didn't. And he said, "Don't ruin my Splatoon 2 record," which I did. Because I've never played Splatoon 2 before. I lost twice, but the second time, it took me a lot longer to lose. So I think he and I looked at each other, and I was kind of like, see? I'm better. Like, right? I'm getting better. Oh God, I'm learning. I'm becoming self-aware. But I have to say, though, I can see why this game is addictive, and I think the expansion is going to be great. I've seen the trailer for the expansion. I talked about that. Also, I think in the same Nintendo Direct Matt Rants, when I ended up talking about Animal Crossing as well as... actually, no, it might have been a different one than Animal Crossing, but I think it was in the same one as Octopath Traveler. So anyway, looking at Captain Toad now, July 13th. Pretty sure I mentioned this last time as well in that other direct. So, not sure if they mentioned the release date then, though. But again, now we know July 13th. Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, to be specific. Also, Crash Bandicoot's coming out on Switch June 29th. You guys know how I feel about Crash. If you've been following the channel for a long time, you know. So I love me some Crash. Happy it's coming to the Switch. Hope you guys like it. I was just hoping that would mean Crash would be coming to Smash, hashtag Crash the Smash. But to be fair, I mean, there's always time for DLC. So, Ninjala coming out spring 2019. The premise intrigues me, but I want to see more of it before I can kind of really dig deep into it and kind of, point out, oh, there's this and oh, there's that. I really don't know anything about it. So I would prefer seeing more of it before I can comment anymore. Carcassonne. It's coming out holiday 2018, which was odd because you could have just said December, but I guess they're wondering November, December where they can slot it in. It looks fun, but not really my cup of tea. Now, speaking of the game, I mentioned earlier that people booed FIFA 18 and FIFA 19. I have footage of it, so you guys are going to see it later on during the week. Just people sitting around me, just an entire room of people, just about I'm going to say 20 or 30 just started going boo. And oh my God, I died laughing. And so people booed 18 and 19, and frankly, when it comes to, FIFA 18 is available now, yes, of course. FIFA 19 is available September 28th. My opinions, I wrote it down verbatim, I'm going to read it verbatim. I have no strong feelings one way or another. So, moving on to Ark Survival Evolved, which is coming out fall 2018, I'm just going to say what I wrote, again, verbatim. Fighting dinosaurs sounds amazing. So, moving on to Wasteland 2 Director's Cut, also coming out fall 2018. And again, one of those other games where it's beautiful visuals. Battle system does not excite me. It's a fair amount of games, I think, in a certain types of genres. It just, for me anyway, it's kind of just and same thing, by the way, with Paladins Champions of the Realm, which is out now. It looks cute, and I'm a fan of the visuals, but the second they go in the first person, I'm like, oh, no bueno. Not for me anyway. No bueno for me. Maybe bueno for you, in which case you can get it right now. Fallout Shelter is also available right now. Cute, and it actually reminds me of Poltergeist, a pixelated horror in a way, which is something that we've played on the channel before. Funnily enough, we usually kind of resurrect it every time we do our Halloween in July event, which is coming up. So you guys can see us play some funny Halloween inspired games over at our Halloween in July event, which again is on this channel. So you can check it out right here when the month of July kind of shows up. So, moving on to Dark Souls Remastered. Already talked about this in the last direct rant that I did, but it's coming out summer 2018. Something that I did not talk about in that rant because it wasn't talked about yet is SNK Heroines Tag Team Frenzy. We literally saw 0.5 seconds of it, yet it looks so fun that I wanna check it out. So, and speaking of wanting to check it out, we can check it out. I don't know if it's gonna be a demo or when that will be released, but it is going to be released September 7th, which is right around my birthday. Odd thing to get around my birthday, probably not gonna ask family to be like, you should get me that game. But still, but it does look like a fun game, and I definitely would love to play it. So, and I don't know much about SNK, but again, I would like to see if there's any characters that maybe I do know, if I've, out of the 0.5 seconds I've played of SNK arcade games. Moving on to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, which is coming out August 28th. I'm sure Monster Hunter fans are loving this, but I thought that people had mentioned this before as well. So I'm not too sure if this is news to them, or if they're like, hey. But anyway, moving on to Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus, June 29th. I would like to mention that if there's a port headed to the Switch, I think that that just means that character from Wolfenstein is confirmed for Smash. I'm pretty sure that's how it works, right? It worked with Bayonetta. I know some people are going to be like, no, she was voted in, but her game got ported to the Switch as well. I'm pretty sure that there are no, and maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that there are no characters that are non-Nintendo in Smash that haven't had at least one game of their series, even if, let's say, it's like a Pac-Man game, not the ones that came out on the PS2, even if it's like a Pac-Man game that came out that was like a 25th anniversary edition, even counting those, I don't think there's any character right now that has been that is in Smash that hasn't at least either appeared or their franchise hasn't appeared on a Nintendo console. And that's every Nintendo console that's ever existed. So I'm pretty sure there isn't one. If there is, comment below, but I'm pretty sure everyone has had at least at least one. Anyway, moving on to The World Ends With You. This, coming out fall 2018. Oh, by the way, Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus, if I didn't mention, June 29th is when it's coming out. But yeah, The World Ends With You. That's just another reason to get the Switch. I will buy this game. This will be a reason why I will get the Switch. Now, Mega Man 11 is coming out October 2nd. This one we've kind of already known for a while, and again, I even did a rant when the trailer dropped. Still, I don't know if I think October 2nd was also mentioned as well. So either way, people cheered when it came up. Understandable, but I'm not gonna focus on it a bit too long. Mario Tennis Aces, I will buy this game without owning a Switch. Damn it! And Mario Tennis Aces coming out June 22nd. And now we're getting to the biggin. This one, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, coming out December 7th, 2018. This took up the majority of a 45-minute Nintendo Direct. I would say that this is the reason why I brought my score down, and I have it where it is right now. But at the same time, I don't think it failed, because again, it's a little bit hard for me to kind of take myself out of the fact that I was there and people were cheering and people were happy. Because if people were booing, sample size, is the word I was looking for way earlier in the rant. So while sample size does matter, and it was a small sample size, still you would think that if you're pissing off Nintendo fans, then you really are doing something wrong. Yes, you could also argue, but they're Nintendo fans and they wanted to love Smash, so they would cheer for anything. But there were people giving very valid critiques on how, certain changes in the gameplay mechanics could, hurt this and hurt that, and, some of the changes maybe being negative. But at the same time, I just feel as if, even though there may have been too much time dedicated towards this in the Direct, at the same time, I just think that they should have made the Direct longer and definitely added in, another game, or maybe some more focus on like Aces or something like that. But I would like to mention, though, that I do think that Nintendo was going for something completely different with this Direct compared to what other people were doing with their press conferences, where it felt as if their press conferences, other video game companies, they're thinking, maybe not EA, but otherwise they're thinking, this is E3. We gotta hit them hard. Boom, hit them with that. Boom, hit them with that. Boom, hit them with that. I think Nintendo, going for the slow and steady in a good way, necessarily, because they focused on the games people really wanted to see hard. But more importantly, though, I think Nintendo just looked at E3 as another place to put a Direct, where I don't think we're obviously going to get another Direct before the holiday season. We can have one in September. We can have another one potentially even in November. So I feel like we're going to get even more info about some games that were not even announced, and maybe they won't come out this year, sure, but I don't think that, because a friend of mine, again, linked his channel below, he's actually at Will Tank on Twitter, you can follow him there. And so he's really cool. And he's one of the people that's from South Carolina. And I was just like, damn. But again, he came here for something different, but also lined up with this. So I met him there, a fellow YouTuber. He and a friend of his do podcasts and other fun stuff like Let's Plays and stuff like that. So we met, and he was talking about how there was a Yoshi game that's been talked about for a while. That there's a Pikmin game that's been talked about for a while. And just a fair amount of stuff that didn't feel like Nintendo addressed. And even though, again, I agree with him, that's kind of why, I'm not giving this an A. But at the same time, I do feel as if fans did seem happy, though, right? Because they completed essentially seemingly all the announcements for a game that people were looking forward to. Sure, other games did lose out, sadly. Sure, the characters that we wanted to be in it, like, Waluigi, and I'm sure some others as well, were not really in the game. Some were used as assist trophies, like Waluigi, and others. But at the same time, though, I think with everything they discussed with Smash, I wouldn't have said that we should have shortened Smash. I just, like I said earlier, think that we should have maybe made the entire Direct a bit longer. But one thing I want to mention, so talking about the Direct itself, though, instead of just, talking about it in a roundabout way, the way I have been, talking about it directly, the end joke at the beginning, maybe you guys didn't find it funny. I fucking found it hilarious, especially because it was really hard for me to hear Sakurai and the person dubbing him over, because, again, everyone was so freaking loud. So just hearing a little bit like, Mario fighting people, the end. Just kidding. That killed me, to be fair. No, it killed me personally. But anyway, maybe you don't like it. Okay. But I will admit, yes, I think that lots of changes to gameplay and different characters and how they, Ryu can't technically turn around now. Although I could swear that he could turn around in the demo that I played. So that was interesting. But still, certain things in the game, the smashes being quicker, changing up some people's smashes a little bit here and there, changing up the damage, introducing, the Inklings. I totally get how people could feel slighted a little bit, especially if their main now feels either underpowered or someone who they thought they could best now is overpowered. I do get that. But at the same time, I do think it's nice to kind of put people on their toes, while I don't want people who are making, good money off of this, really working hard to be champions at Smash, now kind of being overturned by a new game. But at the same time, I do think it's a nice way to give other people a chance to kind of get good, depending on, maybe something that someone was better at before. Now that's been changed, balanced, etc., etc. I'm not too into the competitive Smash scene, but so I'm sorry if anyone has been negatively affected by this and it might hit your wallet. I really do feel bad for you. I'm not one of those people that's going to sit there and be like, well, they're just making money playing video games. No, you're putting a lot of hard work into that, and I do get it. I feel for you, but I do think that it still is nice to change things every once in a while. We can't keep every single game the same, especially when we're introducing new characters. I say new. It's not like Snake is new, right? But he is new in the sense that we haven't seen him for freaking 10 years, which is crazy, because that I sit back and I'm like, wait, the last time Snake was in Smash, I was 15? Like, what? It's Smash went on for a while for the Wii, but still, I'm sitting back like, oh God, how old am I? But yeah, so although I just wrote in my notes, it's like, everyone is here, and then I put in parentheses, I put Snake, but then underneath that I wrote in all caps, except Waluigi. Hashtag save the Wa. I'll make that a thing. The Echo Fighters were interesting. I think that with the Echo Fighters, though, I was a little confused, because I was like, why don't we introduce Birdo then? So I don't know why we didn't bring in Birdo. I know we haven't had much Birdo exposure in a while, but if we're doing the Echo Fighter thing and we brought in Daisy, why not Birdo? So hopefully, again, DLC makes its way over here and we can end up getting Echo Fighter Birdo or something like that. I mentioned earlier Smash attacks are quicker. I do think that it'll change up the battles in a good way, because I guess I haven't played Smash in a while, so I guess people were saying, hey man, these are fun, but like they're long. So I think it's pretty cool that they, made those a little bit quicker. We can use GameCube controllers. I don't know if it's a specific one for the GameCube, or if you can just plug in your GameCube controller. If you have to buy new GameCube controllers, that does suck, but because the one that they showed had a Smash logo on it, I assume for branding, not that you have to buy a new one with a Smash logo on it. Although I'm not saying that I wouldn't, but it would be nice if you could just use your standard GameCube controllers, because I have a bunch of those. Since you've seen my shelf of games, guys. I have old games. That's kind of what we would talk about on this channel a lot. Okay, so all amiibo are compatible, which was nuts. And certain amiibo data will also be transferred over as well. So I think that's a good thing too, where yes, it might seem like, some people who have been accustomed to the way the Wii U version of Smash has played, and now might feel like they're being, there's like an upheaval of that. At least you can bring over your achievements from, it's kind of like saying, if you bought a Wii U, holy shit, thank you. Also for 3DS as well, but still, it feels like it's kind of like, if you bought it on the Wii U, my God, thank you. You can bring over your amiibo data. That's cool. Also, they mentioned that you have to unlock fighters. I don't remember if it said that it started with 8, but I know it showed the roster immediately decrease into, I believe it was 8. That's a beautiful thing. I love that a lot. I'm not a big fan of just starting the game and you end up getting like 15 to 20 fighters and you get to unlock another 20. It's kind of like, guys, I prefer, granted, I don't know if I want, I don't know how I'll feel about not having cheats to unlock everyone, so I have to sit back and be like, but it's really hard to do that minigame, guys. I will admit, that does happen. That does suck. But at the same time, I gotta say, though, I personally feel as if it's, to me anyway, it's pretty cool that we can just unlock characters, and it kind of feels like the original Smash again with but hey, I mean, looking at how many characters there are to unlock, I assume many of them will be super easy to unlock. Like, it might be something along the lines of, if you're playing, I don't remember if Peach was part of the original lineup. Let's say she's not, even though I imagine she would be, but again, let's say she's not. If you play as Mario and you beat, if it's not a story mode, then it's, an arcade type run. If you beat the game as Mario, you can get Peach. Like, I assume it might be that easy. Or it's like, if you beat the game as Mario, new challenger, Luigi, right? Just like it used to be. If you, I don't know what you'd have to do is, as Metroid, as Samus to get Ridley. That's intense. I don't know what you'd have to do. But it would be crazy though. Like, I do wonder what you could do to try to unlock Ridley. What, I would imagine it would be something, because I don't know, because Ridley was they showed footage of Ridley. I don't remember Ridley being available in the demo that I played, but they showed footage of Ridley. The Treehouse did the Treehouse live segment afterwards, so they want to promote Ridley. But I don't know if they're just going to be like, here's Ridley. So I guess, like, if you just beat the game once as Samus, maybe they would. But I have an odd feeling that with Samus, it might be something like play the game on hard or something like that. Like doing something that's a little bit extra just to be like, wow, new challenger. Then Ridley just comes down and just wrecks your shit. But either way, as we're wrapping this thing up, I give this direct a B. And at first I thought, you know what, am I going to give it lower? But then watching it again and really seeing the fact that they did introduce games, like, here's the thing, right? So it went up higher because they did focus on more games than just Smash than I thought. Like, they really did go, like the trailers that they showed also did win me over. They were good trailers. But at the same time, the reason why I got lower is because it was short. And being short and to the point is always good, in my opinion. It's not like, I wanted to have a direct that's like 2 hours long and then just going in depth to the point where we're getting too many interviews and stuff like that. Again, the EA one, I feel like they stretched things a bit thin. But with this one, in this case, it makes sense why you talk about Smash for 25 minutes. It was shorter than EA's presentation, and then the other games that they talked about, other than the FIFAs, it did seem like the fans were invested in it. Again, there was a lot of cheering. It wasn't just because, like, we were outside for a long time being online. I mean, we got online, many of us at some of us we could only start lining up at 7. So some people got online at 7, some at 8. The doors technically opened at 9, but we still had to stand online to get our wristbands to get in. The direct started at 12 for us because we're in New York. So we're just standing around until like 11:55 when they just cattle us all in, and we're just sitting on the floor. You might even notice when I show you guys the footage why I get shorter in the footage. I was just on my knees, literally, like they went numb, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna die here. So then I had to sit down, and there was some people blocking my way. But so it's the true movie theater effect, really. You got heads all over. It's great. But still, I feel as if it's a B. It's definitely not, a D or anything like that. I don't think it's A worthy, however, because again, you could have shown a bit more. Not of the games that were presented, although I do think that out of, the giant list of games they randomly threw in for 0.5 seconds, I think that maybe some of those could have benefited showing me a little bit more. But at the same time, I just think that you could have talked more about Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. To be fair, that is the one game that they technically didn't really show. And even though they kind of addressed it more in the Treehouse, which, another thing too, not against Nintendo personally, but Nintendo did say, or Reggie specifically said, hey, by the way, we're going to have a Treehouse that's going to focus on some cool shit later. That's great. But if there's known audio issues, I just felt odd that the Nintendo World employees weren't told, let's say, by Nintendo. Because you would want these people sitting around for... I mean, it's funny, though. Technically, I bet you we would have been told about the Treehouse if they weren't at maximum capacity. But they actually had 2 showings of the E3 Direct. The first was with us because we got there earlier. And then once we left, they brought in a bunch of new people to watch it again. So to be fair, maybe they had a better view of it, better shot. So again, maybe they knew, oh snap, we could also watch Treehouse 2 afterwards. Because we stayed for a little bit longer just to watch some of the Ridley footage. But then a few of us left to get food because we were very hungry. And then I'm watching, while my two new friends were playing Switch. They were playing Switch. They were playing Splatoon on the Switch, Splatoon 2. And they were sitting there playing Splatoon 2. I was on Twitter. At one point, it was kind of funny because Will was like, oh, you kind of got quiet. Are you okay, man? And I'm sitting there like, wow, I have known you for less than a day. And you know me as the guy that talks a lot. Welcome to being my friend, guys. That's just what I do. But anyway, the point, though, is that... seeing them, they're playing on the, Switch. So I'm sitting here like, okay, I'm just going to, scroll through my phone, look at Twitter, stuff like that. And then I found out that they were just showing a bunch of doing essentially a Let's Play of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And I was kind of sitting back like, guys, you probably should have talked about this during the Direct. Like, that's my only, that's why I bring it down, right? Like some of the games that were shown too quickly were literally just shown too quickly. And then something like Pokemon, they did not go a little bit harder into it. I kind of get why they wouldn't, because again, I mentioned it earlier, perhaps they didn't want it to be, undervalued due to Smash hype, but at the same time, it did bring down the event. But the reason why I'm still sticking to that B is because it's not like anything in Smash was, in my opinion anyway, complete and utter shit, right? I know, we've memed the Waluigi situation, but at the end of the day, I think he will be available, and frankly, he is an assist trophy. I just personally don't feel like that one thing is going to bring me that's a C minus. No, I think it really was B level. It could have been better. It really could have been. And I think it obviously could have been worse, I mean, if they had not gone as in depth with Smash as they did, and it was even shorter than 45 minutes, definitely worse. But no, I just think that sometimes you don't have to introduce all the games. Like, even though I really highly rate Xbox's event, you don't have to show all the games. But I think the reason why I gave the Xbox/Microsoft event, which I'll talk about a little bit later, see another Matt Rants about that a little bit later, the reason why I gave that more, a little bit, did I give it a higher score or did I give it the exact same score? But the reason why I held it up a little bit higher, perhaps, compared to the Nintendo event, the E3 event, is because of the fact that when you look at Microsoft's event, while they kind of, I think, gave a little bit too much, perhaps, like too many games, like they were trying to be the EA, which I'm not saying that's a bad thing, just potentially too many games. At the same time, it was a longer press conference. So it's understandable. Oh, you're a longer press conference. You have the ability to do that. And then, of course, they show stuff like Kingdom Hearts, which I'll talk about again in a different Matt Rants. But they show stuff like that. And it's just like, whoa, this is amazing, right? Versus here, where, believe me, I'm not saying it was not amazing, right? But I do think that B is the perfect grade for it. If you disagree with me, please comment below. If you think it should get higher, again, comment below. If you think it shouldn't, you think am I shilling? Again, comment below and talk to me. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about this. We're officially wrapping up this Matt Rant. Thank you all so much for listening in. Thank you all so much for listening while I'm super delayed with my Matt Rants. Again, it's been very hard to do it due to the fact that I've just been, I was a little down earlier this week, so that kind of just, or technically later in the week, as in Saturday, Sunday into this week. So that definitely is what kind of stopped EA's press conference coming out sooner, and then that kind of dominoed and just kind of became an issue when the Nintendo New York Direct happened, or Nintendo New York E3 press conference happened. But I gotta say, though, it was a very fun event. Definitely, if you're ever in the New York area, go to it every year. In fact, it's still technically happening until Friday, so you can definitely go there, check it out, have fun. They still have demos for Smash and Aces up, so you guys can still play it like I have and many others have. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and definitely check it out. So, love you all, take care, hope you had fun, and tune in next time for another Matt Rants. It'll be sooner than you think. Alright, guys, so see ya.